Hello and welcome everyone. My name is Yogesh Ratnaparkhi and I am accompanied by my colleague Eric Warnke. We are program managers within the OneDrive and SharePoint team, and we are super excited to be here today. So you have terabytes of data scattered across your on-prem network or other cloud stores, and you want to migrate this to Microsoft 365 so that you can empower your organization for collaboration and productivity. You are in the right place. In this session, you will learn how to move your content regardless of the size of your organization or the source of your content. Together, we will walk through real scenarios to move your content from various sources. Using Migration Manager, we will move your file share content to the cloud. Using Migration Manager and Mover, we will learn how to move your content from other cloud storage providers to Microsoft 365. And finally, we'll walk through the SharePoint migration tool to move your on-prem server content into OneDrive, Teams, or SharePoint. Migration is a journey, which often starts by taking an inventory of your environment. Using our first-party tools, you can scan your environment to assess and plan your migrations. Today, you can leverage the built-in scanning capabilities in our first-party tools, including Migration Manager, SharePoint Migration Tool, and Mover. And using the SharePoint Assessment Tool, you can assess your on-prem server content. And finally, using Azure Information Protection Solution, you can start classifying and labeling your file share content even before you start migrating so that you can bring security and compliance early into the migration process. As an IT admin, one of the most common scenarios you encounter is to move content from your home folders and departmental shared drives into Microsoft 365. Using Migration Manager, you can easily move these file shares into Teams, SharePoint, or OneDrive locations. Let's see how. You can access Migration Manager from the SharePoint Admin Center. Here from the left nav, you have access to this landing page, which clearly walks you through with the right tool based on your need. If you want to migrate from SharePoint Server 2010, 13, or 16, you can directly download the SharePoint Migration Tool. For many of you know, this tool is a desktop application and has been used by thousands of customers and moved petabytes of data into the cloud. For migrations from Box, G Drive, Dropbox, or other cloud storage providers, you can access Mover, now part of Microsoft, and is available for free to all of you. For file share migrations, you have an integrated experience right from the SharePoint Admin Center. Imagine you're the IT admin of Contoso and you want to move all your file share content to the cloud. You have two simple steps to get this migration started. Step 1 is to install an agent on a Windows computer or virtual machine that you want to use as a migration agent. And step 2 is to get started by creating migration tasks. So let's go ahead and download this agent setup file on your machine. The agent installation is quick and easy. The first thing you need to do is authenticate to the N365 tenant you'll be migrating to. In this case, I have already authenticated to the target tenant. So the next step is to authenticate to the Windows user that has access to all your source files that you'll be migrating. So I enter the password for this Windows user and I hit install. Within a few seconds, the agent setup is now complete. Optionally, you can test your access to some of the source files you'll be migrating. That way you can ensure a successful migration. All right, this looks good. The agent continues to run behind the scenes as a service, even if the machine is not logged in. It automatically restarts after a machine reboot. It even automatically updates itself. That way, you never have to touch this migration machine again. How convenient is that? So let's go ahead and close this window. Notice that the agent now shows up on the Migration Manager. It's enabled and ready to take on your migration tasks. So let's go ahead and get started with your first migration task. You have a choice to create a single source and destination task or create a bulk task. For now, let's go ahead with a single task. Here, you need to specify the source file share that you will be migrating from. Since this is my pilot, I'm going to specify my own departmental file share. And then I need to choose the destination where I want this file share to go to. I have a choice to pick from Microsoft Teams, SharePoint site, or OneDrive. So let's go ahead and choose Teams. You will see a list of all the teams available within this tenant. So for the IT team, I want to move this content to the IT folder within the general channel. And with that, I have set my destination for migration. You also have a choice to move to a SharePoint site. In this case, the destination is defaulted to the closest site that this content would go to. You can obviously change the site from this control. And then you get to pick the document library where you want to move this content to. Now that you have set the source and the destination, you can give this a friendly name. Now you can run this task as a scan only, as in it will only assess this file share without actually migrating the content. You can also review other settings here. The default settings look good, so let's go ahead and run this task. Notice that this task is now queued up to be picked up by the agent that we just installed. So that was easy, wasn't it? While this task is being processed, let's go ahead and move all our departmental file shares to the cloud. So let's create another task and this time choose the bulk option. Here, you need to mention either the JSON or a CSV file that lists out all the sources and destinations of the content that you want to migrate. You can view a sample. If you're not familiar with the format, I have already created a CSV that lists out all Contoso's departmental file share to their respective destinations. Let's call this departmental file shares batch. You often want to move content based on the age. And here you have an option to filter out based on the creation date or the modified date. You have other filters like you could exclude files with certain extensions. You can choose not to move files with invalid characters, and there are other settings that you can review. When I hit run now, the file is parsed into individual tasks. So each of the file shares or folders is represented through an individual task on your migration manager. While the batch is being processed, you can always take a snapshot using the summary report. That way, you can keep your stakeholders up to date on the progress. You can sort your list using individual fields. You can filter tasks based on status. You often want to look at all the failed tasks and then troubleshoot those accordingly. And you can search it by any of the fields available. Now that your batch is being processed, you want to increase the throughput of your migration so you can finish this in a reasonable time. To do so, all you need to do is to add additional agent so that you can parallelly execute your migration using multiple agents. So you can go ahead and add an agent on another machine using the agent set of file and follow the process that we did earlier. So let's fast forward to a state where you deployed multiple agents to scale your migration. You can manage all of these agents from this interface. For example, you can give a friendly name to an agent, or you can disable an agent if you want to take it out of the pool. With all the agents working in parallel, your batch is now complete. You have moved all of your departmental file shares to Microsoft 365. You can send an updated snapshot to your stakeholders by using the summary report, or you can drill down on details of a particular task by downloading a task level detail report. Using the Settings tab, you can change the configuration for a particular task and rerun it if you want to. You can also delete a task if it's not needed anymore. As you can see, you can do an entire end-to-end migration all from this single interface. How awesome is that? To recap, you can use Migration Manager to move all your file share content to Microsoft 365 using a few simple clicks right from your admin center. As of today, Migration Manager has been used by thousands of customers moving petabytes of content into the cloud. This solution is generally available for all customers, including government clouds. Based on your feedback, we have had several updates since our launch. You can now manage up to 50,000 tasks in Migration Manager. You can easily search, sort, and filter these tasks. You can target a specific document library or a folder. And finally, this solution is accessibility compliant so that anyone in your organization can use this tool and move your content. We continue to evolve this solution. Coming soon, you will see the Teams and OneDrive destinations that we saw during the demo. You will also have the ability to provision your target SharePoint sites. We understand that throughput is a big part of your migration plans. To increase this throughput, we will soon introduce multitasking across agents so you can increase your throughput 2 to 5 times more than it is today. And finally, to scale your reporting needs, you will be able to leverage commandlets to download detailed reports and multiple tasks. So congratulations. You just finished migrating your file share content, and just when you were about to celebrate, you learn that your company acquired another company and their data is on Box Enterprise. Not a problem. Eric, why don't you show how you can migrate this Box content using Migration Manager with equal ease and efficiency?
Thanks, Yogesh. Late last year, Microsoft acquired Mover. As we joined the Microsoft family, we all agreed the best outcome for our customers was to unify our migration products. So today I'm proud to announce that our first integration will be merging Mover's Box migration capabilities directly into SharePoint Admin. Let me show you how.
You'll notice our SharePoint Admin migration landing page now has a Box option. I'm clicking Get Started. Here is our Box Migration Manager integration. I already have a Box account connected. To make your life easier, all of your Box content is automatically scanned. You need to be prepared before a migration, and the more information we can give you, the better. You'll see here my demo account has about a dozen users. Since Box only operates under a user model, you'll notice we even have some users that are treated as a service account, such as the sales department. The Scan tab in our Migration Manager offers a lot of information. You have access to critical information such as the number of files, folders, and data contained in each user. At any point, I can rescan a user, which I'll do with Adele right now. You can also send any users you deem ready onto the migration phase of your migration. I'm going to select Alex, Christy, Lydia, Megan, and that sales department. Then you can click Add to Migrate. Let's go check out that tab. Now that I'm in the Migrate tab, you'll see the users I just selected are available to migrate. We make your life easier by automatically mapping them to destination OneDrive accounts. Some things don't always perfectly map, like our sales department. So let's go change that to a SharePoint site. Open the side panel for it and edit the destination. You can set any user to a OneDrive, SharePoint, or Teams site. Here I'm finding our sales department, selecting document library, and saving it. Now that I have all my destination users set up, it's time to copy some content. I'm selecting them all and clicking Migrate. After confirming, we're off to the races. Now this Migrate view tells us some important information about our transfers. We have the required source, destination paths, as well as any status that you need to be aware of, such as whether it's running or queued. Also, very importantly, is how many folders, files, and data were successful or otherwise had problems. Now, wasn't that easy to migrate your Box content into Microsoft 365?
You can expect to try this later in the year, and there will be many more features on top of what I just demoed. Expect excellence like built-in scanning and assessment, detailed reports, the ability to perform migrations of literally any size, and making sure all content comes across, even your Box notes. Lastly, I would be remiss to not point out that I'm just the guy doing the demo. There is a hardworking and amazing team working behind the scenes to make this happen, and I want to publicly recognize them and say thank you. Now, Box is just the beginning. Our future plans are to integrate the rest of the scenarios that are supported by Mover. Today, you may still visit mover.microsoft.com and migrate for free into Microsoft 365. Let me recap how Mover works.
Here is the Mover web application. You will notice many similarities to the Box integration I just demoed. This is a G Suite Drive migration that I have already completed. We have summary statistics and detailed information about each transfer, such as files, folders, and data. Mover also provides a wealth of information about each transfer. Each transfer also has very detailed log files that are real-time and quick to troubleshoot. You can easily filter and sort the log files to see the information you need. Lastly, you can export reports to help convey all the information you need to your team, your management, and your end users. As soon as we can, we hope to wrap all available Mover migration scenarios into the capabilities of Microsoft 365. We'll let you know as soon as they're available.
Since we joined Microsoft, Mover has helped migrate over 20 petabytes of critical customer data. The Mover technology is available globally and is trusted by the biggest partners Microsoft has. Best of all, it's free. Next year, I'm looking forward to reporting back on the amazing progress we have made. Yogesh, do you want to talk about our SharePoint migration tooling?
All right. Together, we moved our content from file shares, Box, and Google Drive using some of our first-party tools. What about those SharePoint servers that need to be moved to SharePoint Online? You have a solution for that as well. Using the SharePoint migration tool, affectionately called as SPMT, you can move your SharePoint Server 2010, 2013, and now 2016 with equal ease. As of today, SPMT has moved over 33 petabytes of content for thousands of customers around the world. Let's walk through a quick demo of SPMT. Once you download the tool, the experience is similar to Migration Manager. Since you want to migrate from a SharePoint server, let's choose this option. Let's enter a 2010 SharePoint site. The tool does a quick validation. And now you have a choice to move everything under this site or pick a specific construct. Let's move to a SharePoint Online site this time. Notice the tool has defaulted the target site for you, which is super convenient. And after a quick check, it finds that the site doesn't exist, so it will create it for you, which is awesome. Let's take a quick summary. Let's review the settings. They all look good. Now we are ready to migrate. And just like that, your source content is now moving to the cloud. So you just saw how easy it is to move your SharePoint server content to the cloud. Using SPMT, you can efficiently migrate your sites, including modern SharePoint team sites, libraries, lists, pages, web parts, and more to Team, SharePoint, and OneDrive locations. You can easily share your feedback through a new inbuilt feedback functionality, so we can continue to evolve this tool for you. What's nice about SPMT is even site admins can use this tool to move their on-prem sites to SPO, so that you don't have to be a SharePoint admin to leverage this tool. As you can see, you have a great selection of first-party tools to migrate your content. To enable a cohesive experience, we will continue to support additional sources within Migration Manager, so you have a one-stop shop for all your migration needs. If you're looking for additional help, you have Fast Track Migration benefit, which is available to all customers with 500 or more seats. Fast Track currently offers migration from file shares, Box, Google Drive, and newly added Dropbox. For additional migration needs, you can leverage a rich ecosystem of ISVs who can further simplify your migrations. To recap, you have a comprehensive set of first-party and third-party tools to move your content to Microsoft 365. Today, for moving from on-prem server, you can use SharePoint Migration Tool. For cloud scenarios, you can use Mover, which is now part of Microsoft and available free to all our customers. And Migration Manager simplifies file share migrations by centralizing the workflow within the admin experience. It will continue to evolve and support additional sources like Box that you just saw into this centralized experience. You can also leverage Fast Track benefit who can migrate on your behalf. And you can avail the rich partner ecosystem to fulfill any of your migration scenario. And here's a quick call for action. Please avail these free first-party tools for all your migration needs. And lastly, sincere thanks to our team, partners, and tech community for your continued collaboration. Good luck with your migrations. Thank you.